There's a lot of video game time I normally would have where I'd also be like, I'd be playing a game but also listening to something. Sort of don't have that option now. I can't play drop frames. So there's something wrong with that. Where am I at here? I got my gear on. I think I was fighting people. That way? Oh, I was doing the... The potions. Good to remember. Good to notice, rather. Short one carbohydrate food. Where's that at? Muck shakes? I have Queen's Jam. Let's get to the Queen's Jam. Use a little dinky food now, I guess, because it scared the hell out of me. Alright, what is my goals here today? I gotta pack together another smelt or two. So I think some of the things that I was considering were to do the dock soon. I was going to take out 3 in the middle, right? I don't remember filling this in, but it must have been just because I changed things before. So we got a full line all the way around. Got some wood over there. Try to have a sacrosanct base. That rock? Or did a guy fall in there? I like the wood, the stake walls over it. Okay, so I want to run with the dock first. I'm gonna drop, oh yeah, I want to drop that down. Then I'll do the terraforming. I guess those are the right things. Good buddy. I'll do it from the back. I will mostly do this with the hoe, save time. So just get to the lowest point I can that's still not subaquatic. This is gonna take a while. There seems to be like a certain point where they're like, no, I'm not getting leveled anymore. Okay, it's pretty acceptable. I'm not gonna worry too much about how low those things are below the water. So yesterday, as I was saying, I was playing Dark Souls. I made like a big, indulgent, crazy, stupid nacho for Super Bowl. And It's sometimes good. I eat pretty well recently. I don't eat a lot of trash. And it's sometimes good to have like a real messed up meal just to like remind yourself, oh, this is how I could feel all the time. I was like, I made a full big bag of Que Pasa organic chips, triple colored. And then I made a ground bison Texas chili with, where I heated up some dried anchos and some dried chipotles in a pan, and then rehydrated them for about an hour. And then you put those chilies in a blender with sauteed onion and some slightly sauteed garlic. You saute the onions for like 10 minutes to brown them, and then add the garlic in the last like 30 seconds. And then you add water and spices. Spices being cumin, cloves, oregano, and cinnamon, and like a cup of water or something. You blend that up. And in the meantime, you saute some ground beef, or in this case bison, that you make into little balls, which is actually really smart. Because normally if you cook something that's like a ground beef dish, it all just falls apart, right? It just like disintegrates into like the tiniest possible particulate matter. And it's kind of like I don't know, kind of overcook it and all those things in. Cooking it this way means that like you get some texture to it. Like they all have like they're like little tiny meatballs. It's really smart. The inside can be like a little moisture. And then you simmer that whole thing for like an hour. Take away the moisture. Then you simmer that whole thing for like basically an hour, add some lime juice, etc. And when I tasted it, I was like, this is not that good. Like, it's really simple flavors. Like, does this need a huge amount of sugar? Does this need a huge amount of salt? Like, what's the thing that's gonna make this better? And then nacho chips, you like bake the nacho chips with some cheese ahead of time to harden them, and then you add the, and then it's like that's like a quarter of the cheese, and then you add chili, which I added too much of the liquid from the chili. I should have, as much as possible, just added like the meatballs, and then just like so much cheese. I mostly used Monterey Jack because I had like 3-to-1 Monterey Jack to cheddar of like what I had in the fridge, and I basically used an entire block Monterey Jack cheese, which is like a little crazy. Like that's a thick, heavy cheese. And so then I made like an entire pizza sheet, like one of those huge round pizza sheets that's vented. I made an entire one of those as nachos. Ate like 60% of it, and was like so knocked out by like 6 o'clock that it was like a wrap on the day at that point. Watch the game, and then it's like stare at nothing, basically just like listening to stuff on the internet, like on YouTube or something like that, for like a couple hours. And then normally on Sundays I have a big bath with magnesium chloride. I have my bath at like 8:30. Normally it's like 9:30. I'm in bed like an hour and a half earlier than usual. I slept 9 hours. It felt like it was 12 hours. I was like headachy a bit last night. It's a big meal. It is fun to make all that like food though. Like if I was going hard and had more people I was gonna have over, I would have like tried to make jalapeno poppers the first time, like at home, figured those out, like maybe do a thing with wings. But the nachos are pretty good. A good lesson. But half the reason I brought this up is like half the chili was still remaining. And so today I simmered black beans for like an hour and a half. They were still like, I hadn't soaked them beforehand, so they're still a little more al dente than I'd like. But a lot of people from what I was reading were saying that like black beans are actually tastier if you don't soak them first. Like they have better color, they absorb more flavor, etc. So I cooked black beans for like an hour and a half. I made some rice, I preheated the thing, and I made basically a burrito bowl with like half the leftover guacamole and a diced tomato and some pickled jalapenos, and basically the not much of the sauce, but like the meat from the chili. Still a lot. It's still like a half pound of bison meat, and then the rice, etc., and mix it all up. Pretty good. And the thing with the Texas chili is that it smelled so good with the cloves and the cinnamon and the cumin, etc. But like the taste of it is thin. It was definitely thin like yesterday, but it's still like, it's kind of like chipotle, you know what I mean? Like it's still pretty well sauced meat to mix into a burrito bowl that all turns into like a big mushy thing of it. So it's pretty good. It's really nice when like you make something that's too much of, and then you can actually really score on like the follow-up meal. I know that's like the essence of like restaurant cooking, but it's also just really great when it works out. Then my standard dark chocolate, we're doing great. And then back to the gym tomorrow for the last 2 weeks of a 13-week program. And these last 2 weeks are the hardest ones. Like a lot of cluster sets and rest pause sets. I'm gonna get messed up. So it's 2 more full cycles. So that means yeah, 4 pull days, 4 push days, 4 legs days left. Then I can take like a week or week and a half break. My mom's gonna be there around the end of February. Maybe take a little trip to Vancouver Island. It's all coming together. But like you notice at this point of the program, like starting week 11 of 3 out of every 5 days you're in the gym, how you're more tired for sure. Like starting to need the extra rest, or not ever really feeling rested. Like before I'd be like, I don't know. Now it feels like I have days off on day 3 and 5, then the 5-day schedule cycles, and now I'm like, oof, I could maybe use some extra days, or I can't believe I can't believe I'm back on it again. It's a good way to do it though. From all I understand, like taking a deload week every 3 to 4 months is like pretty optimal for just like letting your system repair. This has been a program where I don't do a whole lot of like free weights. I do a lot of free weights. I do a lot of dumbbells and some bar stuff, but I've done more machines than I normally would have, and it's helped with like not blasting your vertebrae so much. Like this summer, I was biking to the gym 30 minutes either way every day, and it was like a strength gym, like a powerlifting gym, and biking there 30 minutes either way each day, and then doing a lot. Like one day I had 2 days on legs, 1 day in chest, 1 day at back, and 1 day at arms, and there's like deadlifts and squats and all those things, and like my lower back was like inflamed for like 2 full months basically, and now it's better. So there's like, I don't know, one of the things that the guy was saying who made the program is like, you're actually able to isolate the muscles you want to isolate better, and you're putting like less strain on your like basically your central nervous system and spinal column if you're doing less like big barbell exercises. And the results have kind of proven that a little bit for sure. I get to isolate muscles a little better. Pretty good. Also giving examples that like some of like the most, if you know who Ronnie Coleman is, Ronnie Coleman was like Mr. Olympus in the late 90s, early 2000s or something. The guy's an absolute beast, but he insisted on doing only dumbbells, and for that and other reasons, he is like in what he rates as like 9 or 10 out of 10 pain at all times. He can barely move. Yeah. I guess part of that is like the way that he did stuff. There's a gym I went to when I was in Panama that had TVs on, and one of the things on the TV was this like non-stop 30-minute video of a guy who turned out to be a guy named Chris Bumstead, who's like Mr. Natural Olympia right now. And these videos are Chris Bumstead working out. There's a lot of machines, a lot of hammer strength machines he uses. A lot of cable stuff. A lot of those things I have a lot more respect for. Get some DS3 try to do the boss when I'm too underleveled. Yeah. You just started again, right? Are you sure it's levels and not just like you're not used to playing again? You're rusty? Yeah, true. Getting blasted. What's the boss named? Nice. What kind of weapon do you have? It's crazy weather out. It's like hardcore wind all day. Yeah, what kind of weapon do you have? Yeah. It's gonna be fun. You got a good rotation going on right now. I like that. Okay, this is mostly lowered adequately. Obviously, it could be better. Even all this stuff I'm going to slim down for sure. Now that I'm here, I can really cozy up against the wall. Yeah, they're very different, for sure. Good. Getting a nice low tide here. Let me get rid of some of this stuff. I'm mostly taking the stamina just so I don't drown. Yeah, is there ever two games more different than Dark Souls and City Skylines? I don't think so. There's other ones that are pretty. Maybe both of them are like a little bit slow paced, like slow and medium paced. I don't know what like the fastest paced game is. Hi-Fi Rush or a Sonic game or Osu. I don't know if people even play Osu anymore. Get at the pal. Yeah, very broad selection. It's been funny lately. Valheim and Dark Souls for me have been like actually fairly similar. Like two different takes on like a similar mechanic. It's like two different focuses on the same gameplay. Okay, this is low enough for now. This stuff will go down for sure. Get under there. I need to make sure I have some stamina so I don't drown when the water goes up. No. I deleted Facebook like 4 or 5 years ago. I have no social media accounts. I have like a Twitter that I don't post on. I just like use for followers. And then I have no other social media. So I don't need to do too much more of this. This is under the water level now, so it's a good first try. Look at those milky waters. Beautiful. Do you use yours much? I don't like this being up here. Some miscreant could jump over my wall. That's almost it for today, I guess. Next I'll use the hoe to even up the ground a little bit more. Let's see. Get that part up. It's not cooperating. Plenty of extra stone now to do this. Cross. those other unseemly gaps. Where's the closest workbench? Here. Careful, and boom. Go. Not much sympathy here for a bigger piece, I guess. If I do it from here, maybe I don't have to use that part. Can I do it over water? If there's just water, huh? Gotta build everything up. Me and my deer, I practically not much, was just gonna ask if you could give a follow. A charity my dad started and then I'm a part of. You can Google it if you want. I can get my folks to do it if you want to like make sure the numbers go up. Or just message me what the charity is. That's cool. Nice to hear. Helping people out. Is it like a family member? Or more of a general thing? Still a lot to do to terraform all this. What happened here? Did I make that big pit? I got a subscription to TSN Plus to watch the Super Bowl yesterday. Alright, well, this is a ripoff, but might as well get this to watch it, because I don't feel like chasing some scuffed ass streams and I don't have television. Like cable pack. So and then when the game starts, their website is so destroyed by login attempts that they just open it up to everybody for free. I could not even log in, I was watched as a guest. Cancel it today. I didn't feel like fighting them about it. Demand a refund. Well, they very much should refund. Anyway, that's a crazy fucking scam. Actually disgusting. But whatever. It's a day of excess consumption, right? It's just the way it goes. This looks a little messed up. I gotta raise these up. Okay, I'll do that. Thanks, man. You like work for it, or is it just like something you do on the side, or what? Before it's a little high, now it's a little low. Now it's a little high again. A little low again, I mean. Here. Bring that bitch up a little bit. Just don't want that little gross crack on the bottom. It's so unsightly. Disgusting. I don't know whether there's like some part of like the... I don't know if there's some part of like the emblem, like this animation that'll show you whether it's like at a max that it's gonna raise or not. Right. Yeah, that'll be good. As long as you're okay working for family. Some people think differently of it than others. As I had a friend of mine, he was like, I knew him because he moved into I had an apartment in downtown Toronto, and he moved into it after I left with like buddies, and I'd known him for a while before that actually. It's kind of like pigs in the base. It's kind of like just he just like basically sold weed and played Fortnite essentially, and he like he lived with a girl, or his girlfriend would be there a lot, and she was like in many ways like seemed fairly dumb, but she's also one of those people who can like kind of hustle, and she kind of like gets life to some degree. Like she tended to get what she wanted. But if you talk to her, you're like, this girl is so dumb. But like in a simple, kind of straightforward way. Anyway, she got like went from this job, from whatever job, to like dental technician, to like law firm, to like whatever businessy thing she was, white collar businessy thing she was doing. And the next time I saw him, like a year and a half later, which was this past summer in Toronto, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna start working for and or with her, and we're also engaged. And some part of you is like, hey, congratulations, man, that sounds really great. And then some part of it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I would try to avoid those circumstances in life whenever possible. Well, my dad's best bet, all the other people working are very good friends of his, and it's a solid team. And most of the people in person when I went to Toronto. Nice, okay. That'll be good. Does your dad live in Toronto? Or is he in Halifax with you? Lay this stuff up. He does? Okay. Sure this doesn't collapse on me. Up in the hill a little bit, even that out so it's right angle. Still use my little mining helmet here, I think. It's so dark for like a lot of the day. Take a decent amount of stone to fill this stuff back up. I also have to like, I'm gonna have to at some point figure out like what which my like base height is. Pretty much has to be like a little higher than this at this point, because you want to be like, you don't want to be below the castle keep line. That's a little bit. I was reading a bit today about that like East Palestine, Ohio thing. And I hadn't realized how long it had been going on for. And I think if I was anywhere near there, I would be very worried. I even know people who are like in like Michigan and Windsor. Even if I was there, I'd be like still a little bit sketched out. I saw graphs of like the estimated like water spillage, and it was like west and south of there, but still, if I lived like on one of the Great Lakes, I would still be like paying attention. The thing is, the way the world works now, COVID was like a good example of this. It's like, I think government messaging can be very manipulative in being like, oh, these people are sheep, they're gonna panic, let's not tell them anything until we know for sure, and then we'll like sit on their hands for a pretty long time. I don't think you necessarily trust those sources to be anything except like primarily manipulative. Those sources mainly are like, well, we don't want to panic. Let's be restrained in our details, more than they're going to be like, we should be safe. You know what I mean? That makes sense, but it's still like a little messed up. Just basically, it's not a necessarily... You can't necessarily like trust the information you hear at this point, because they're like primarily trying to like manage expectations and realities. Okay, this is a satisfying part. A little slow going, but to do all these like drop down parts, to like do all the terraforming. Basically, my goal for today is to make the dock. I have to say I enjoyed going to bed kind of earlier last night. If I can sort of like get this done by 10, even though it's like only 8:45 now. I feel like I slept like the thing with going to bed at like, and I probably went to bed a quarter to 10. I was asleep by probably 10:25. It's like even when you get 9 hours sleep, it felt like I got fucking like 12. I woke up, I was like, I must have just been in bed for 12 hours, but it was 7:30 in the morning. And then you have 5 hours before like lunchtime. Insane that is. I'm not used to that. The day feels so long. I had like hours of doing like whatever today. It's like watching LEC, like trying to wake up. Maybe I should get a second coffee. I need to play some Dark Souls soon. That's as high as my my work expectations are. So it's like, ooh, I better get into play some Dark Souls. One of those days where I needed the second coffee to like get talkative enough. The only times I've probably been like, okay, it's probably best if I play off stream, is like mood related. Like when I was like tilted on my mind playing Valheim the other day. Nothing was going my way. Just deer running around willy-nilly at all times. See something up there? Must be my imagination. I just remembered right now that I accidentally made a second iron pickaxe. Awkward. Very, very awkward. 30 stone, that's not very much. Better pick up some more while I'm on task here. Being a little reckless with it. In terms of how I'm raising this stuff up. Whatever. Another good idea I read from something today, I forget where, was another fairly low maintenance way to get a lot of stone in this game is to go to the Black Tower or Black Forest areas and find the stone towers. It's gonna work in the plains as well. And just take a stone cutter and just knock out the bottom of some of those like stone buildings. It'll just all drop down. That's easier than probably pickaxing stuff. Pretty effective. Ooh, this is effective as hell. Why is this working so well all of a sudden? See how far I can stretch this bad boy out. Oh, that's quite the divot. It's stuck in it. Let's see here. How much can I bring this bad boy up? Let's bring that bad boy down. Slightly less ideal. I wonder why this area is so effective. Okay, pretty good. Can I go along here, getting any of this out? I wonder what that piece is. I think it's a piece of rock from the previous. Yeah. 6 rock, don't mind if I do. Get out of here. Poor fish is gonna get beached. Floating to the surface like it's East Palestine, Ohio. In bad taste, sorry. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, in areas like that, because of their smaller immune systems or like smaller circulatory systems or just size generally, it's like you see animals first, like first off, are the ones that get messed up. I guess they're more sensitive to it or something. It's like dogs and cats dying like instantly, chickens. Messed up, dude. Alright. So this part's too high. But this part's also too low. Basically we basically just have to go along the water at the cliffside. Make sure this is proper. Is that less or more effective? Hard to tell. That was more effective. I guess maybe because I'm also like more comfortable for doing it this way. More comfortable doing it this way. But this way seems to be the most effective. If you go here, each additional stack, like the additional height is annoying. I don't love that style. But if you go like, if you get one out, and then you go that way, and then that way, and keep doing the edge there. Okay, that was clumsy. There is like ways to kind of like get 3 or 4 going more efficiently than just like spamming each. I need like the little. This is the. I find this way like. I don't know if that was, but how's my stone doing? 48 still. All right, like this, and then corner, like that halfway corner. Then click on the rock wall. Claim a workbench. Be over here somewhere, like a nice central location. Okay, yeah, so click on the... Pretty good. The reason I'm doing this one exhaustively is because if this one is at the proper height, then I at least have a standardized height for the rest of it. Or like, or close to it at least. It's not particularly effective. This helps raise it. This helps raise it up a level or so. There we go. Some more stone. I'm gonna need a lot more. Never ending. Speaking of never ending, I watched the most recent couple of seasons of Stranger Things this summer, having needed to catch up on them. Forget if it's the most recent season or the one before. When Dustin and his girlfriend do the like over the ham radio never-ending story moment that everyone's like just like forced to listen to during like the most like climactic part of the entire story. That shit was gold. What a good moment. They did that so well. Everyone's just sitting there, be like, what are we listening to? And the song is like, I barely remember that song. That was like one of those movies that like everyone saw, but I didn't. Like Gremlins was one of those too. And other ones that I discovered later, like the Goonies. I was like, oh, everyone's seen this except me. But the way he like starts to sing the song like quietly a cappella, and then how the music comes in over time, make it like more rousing in the moment. Sick. Turn around, look at what you see. It was like just like in my head for weeks afterward. Such a funny song. Classic 80s, like with the music video looks like, etc. It's like bordering the line of awesome and like ridiculous. 80s were good that way. That was a really good decade for like that kind of like conspicuous consumption. Like Prince kind of, you know what I mean? It's like, is it upsetting or is it like the best thing ever? And like then if you're living in the 90s is so much like, oh, the 80s are so stupid and embarrassing. Look at these outfits. But like the first 3 years of the 90s were like the same outfits as the 80s. And like the music was worse and like the attitude and like culture was worse. The 80s was like this like huge period of financial consumption. And like it's muscular, man. That was a sick decade. Like future, like actually like future looking stuff. This is kind of nice having like a little pool in here. But I'm gonna have the river at the back, that's all I need. Like the more like I got out of that period, the more I look back and like listen to music, etc. And like especially the movies, 80s were like way more interesting than 90s. The 90s had really good indie music, but the 80s did too. It just was like kind of had a different sound to it. Like some decades look forward, some decades look back. 80s were like the 80s and 90s are like the primary example of this, of that dynamic. Like there was a lot of really sick sci-fi movies in the 80s. Blade Runner, Aliens. I think Aliens, the second one, was also in the 80s. I'm pretty sure. Those are like some of my favorite movies ever. Incredible. Like the movies that like required concept artists. Concept artists are great. A great job. It's gotta be hard to get into it. It's gotta be hard to like. It's gotta be a hard job in a lot of ways for sure. But definitely the people whose like work I like to see on my Twitter. That's the kind of shit I like to see on my Twitter page. Sure. Concept artists being like, I did this work for like this Star Wars movie or something. It's always so sick. Or like I did this work for this video game. Like wow, that looks so good. So cool. They all seem to be like, it seems to be like not like a closed infrastructure, but like the people who are really good at it, they're like, yeah, I worked on The Matrix this year and Star Wars and Marvel. If I had to do like a best movies, I don't know if I could do a best movies of the 80s list like off the top of my head. That's really hard. I mean, I think Empire Strikes Back was like early 80s, wasn't it? Or late, if it's late 70s, that's different. That's my favorite Star Wars movie. But the 80s was different. It was like a blockbuster decade. Whereas like the best movies in the 90s were like, I would say, I don't know, like two of the things I think of immediately would be Pulp Fiction and The Matrix. Would be like, I think, probably my top two. And then maybe Saving Private Ryan. One thing I read in like there's a film criticism book I read that I've been reading like for years. I got it for a present when I was taking film classes. It's a great present. And it made the point that Spielberg made Schindler's List and Jurassic Park in the same year. Kind of like as a testament to how much this guy's like just an insane producer, like maybe more than anything, you know what I mean? And like brings the same energy and like hustle to both those. That's incredible. Like two huge movies, but in very different ways. Really different ways. I respect that a lot. And both those movies are like really rewatchable. The movie of his that I most want to see that I never have is Empire of the Sun. It's just one of those movies I never get around to. Okay, well, I ran out of stone. My ships are bobbing in the water. Okay, I'm gonna refill my shit. I'm not sure I'll take the cart out. How do I best handle this? I'm gonna put these animals and hides away. Okay, so I'm gonna bust down. Hey pal, I gotta get this guy to hear something. Okay, I gotta bust down a stone cutter. One there. I can bust down this one. Bust down both of these. I'll repair my gear. And then I guess I'll take the card out. But maybe tomorrow. And then go find some of those tall stone structures. There's not any particularly close, but there are some kind of close. I feel like I've done enough for today. Maybe we'll just try to... It looks really dumb. It's nighttime, okay. Alright, this is not the thing to be doing at night. Do I have resin on me? No. I have to refill my torches here. I think there's 6 each. Right? Gotta go pick up our wood. Don't want to forget in the morning. Feel bad for these deers just running around upset. My life. Come on. I love the... He really looks like a wrestler. He's wearing small trunks, a cape, and a championship belt. Like, it's so funny. Like, he looks like Triple H. Got all the stuff I need here. Alright. Let's get that cart and let's go. This way I get to do something besides... Fun. Go. Can you get through there? I'll leave it. It's crazy weather out. Like the most wind I've seen here in a long time. Okay, so the best of my memory is a tall stone structure here. That's the closest one I recall, which is a bit of a mission. Alright. You're fine. You got a while yet. I'll clean you up when I get there. Troll doing my neighborhood. Care for that. Ooh, raspberries. Coming for me. I'd rather fight them than deal with this. You hear that? No, he didn't? Okay, good. Let's keep that between you and me. Should at least put my clothing on, I think. Put on my hard hat. Yeah, we're still fine. Alright. Who the fuck asked you? Rolling with a card attached to is really funny. This guy's out just killing everybody, like usual. Ooh, raspberries. Alright, fellas, let's go. An arduous journey. A big guy, get up there. Should have used Deke there. There's a structure over there. Shit, it's gonna fall apart. Now I should definitely. There. I'm now in the card. There you go. This is a huge piece of rock. Interesting. I feel like I heard someone swearing at me there. Okay, so this is fine for this. Is nobody here? This is all cleared. Okay, so fun. Good. Get to see how much stone I get from this. This could be pretty good. I think there's at least one or two more of these somewhat around here. What are you touching? Nice. Nice. Okay, it's not too much stone, but it's quick. I can gather it all up at once, which is a little messed up. That's it, right? Okay, that's kind of cool. 167. This is not nothing. Slightly underwhelming. Maybe one more over there, but I think I'm just gonna start tackling this big boy here. Do I do it from here first? This is always how I keep falling in the water. I ate enough for meal. Because I guess I just thought about it. I'm getting pretty close to the ending of Better Call Saul. I have 4 more to watch. It's like starting to link up to like the things they've been promising since the beginning, which is pretty cool. I really, yeah, find it interesting. And I really think it's funny to watch it with someone who hasn't seen Breaking Bad. Because they're like, I don't think this guy's going to make it. I'm like, I tell you what, he's around for a while. Get out of there. Get out of the water, dummy. Thank you. Alright. That's how you want to play it? Okay, this piece is just annoying as fuck. Oh. Look at this. So dumb. Alright, do it from this way. Enough of this nonsense. Clear this stuff up while I take a light breather. Don't sprint during this time. It's not worth it. I guess just chop it from the shore off. I'm not sure this is the best way, but drowning in the water is not the best way either. Like that subtle slide is funny. No. Little moonwalk. I'm gonna jinx this, but I'm surprised I'm not getting bothered more. Trolls have been poached to extinction in this area, I guess. Besides that cave. The sheer, like, lat skills. Really hardcore. The big extension with the pickaxe. I have carpal tunnel syndrome from the jolting. Breather, mop my brow. Bring this dude over a little bit. Sure, even better. Hopefully I can bang out 2 pickaxes full before dark. It's just so much more stone to do these boulders. in 3 pieces at once. The dream. Look at that. Like a crater. Alright. Drop this in there. I don't like getting lower like that. Makes the rest harder. Clear some up. Pick up this little chip. So in Dark Souls, I'm at the point where most of like the open map, I think I've more or less covered. Now that I've killed all the Lord Vessels, they're like opening up some new stuff for me to do underneath. That part's exciting. I think I'm like pretty close to a part where like I'm probably gonna do what looks like a boss rush and like final areas fairly soon. And what was nice about it is I finally found some more dragon scales, some from random drops and 2 from little like world bosses, to start getting some more points in my huge heavy mace. So that plus finally finding the guy Havel, who was like the super ultra high armor, and when you kill him you get his ring. That ring like adds probably 30 or 40 to your carry limit. Insane. I am like very, very pleased with how my stuff's looking now, and I'll probably just run the Havel set with the Dragon's Tooth for the rest of the game. One thing is tempting to do is to use some of those like holy greatswords. But if I hadn't done Zweihander or Artorias by now, I'm not going to really do it later. But anyway, I'm very pleased with how that went. The only thing that was annoying, well, parts of it were annoying for sure, like some of the attempts I was doing to finish some other stuff. But the Tomb of Giants was really annoying. All dark, and the skeletons are very large and very quick too for how large they are. It's pretty delicate. They all die in one big hit basically, but that was some rough times for sure. The most annoying, a slightly annoying thing that I keep thinking about is how there's been like an armor set that I just like missed the whole game. That was like just in plain sight by like a bonfire I warped to like a dozen times. And it was just like around a corner that I could see only from some angles. There's 2 different ways to get down. Okay, if you're at the Chamber of the Princess, which is the top of Anor Londo's palace, after you fight the double boss, you can take the left or the right corkscrew platform to get down from the 2nd floor to the 1st floor. And I always take one way. And if I took the other way, you can just see, and looking across from one way, you can see across to where there's like just like a loot that I just never picked up. And it was a really cool looking set. It's like a golden armor set. The whole place has been just chock full of like knight's armor. Like at least 3 or 4 different kinds. The Black Iron set, the Silver Knight set, a couple other ones. And so there's one that's really nice looking called something of the Favored. I was like, I probably would have used at least some parts of it the whole time. I've generally been pretty happy with the way my guy looks most of the time. The Gargoyle helm was not bad. The Fangbore helm was really nice for a while. But right now I finally get to use the full armor set, and literally the heaviest one in the entire game. So I'm just running around being a fatty. Mid-roll is good enough for me. I'll do something more dashing next time. Gotta hurry up with this. I feel like I should get some upper layers. It comes off like in these crusts almost. What's going on here? It's hitting too many pieces at once. I'm still trying to think. I don't have like a large degree of certainty of like what for sure I'm playing next. I'll be finished Dark Souls before I'm finished Valheim. That's for certain. Am I gonna do like a triangle strategy or something kind of slow like that? I can maybe do something more retro. RimWorld is too similar to Valheim. Can maybe do like a more simple action platformer. Like a Celeste? Hollow Knight? I could get a really fat chunk of stone in by doing another day at this place. Probably best. Instead of doing the terraforming and then coming back to here. There's also a lot of stone in there that's like just waiting to be snatched up for some reason. Why is it like that? Really weird. Okay, so I didn't get through 2 pickaxes. Still pretty good yield. So one more day of this should give me enough rock to finish terraforming. And then the next goal would be the smartest thing to do for the next goal would be to get out of here. Smartest next goal would be to flatten everything just to make sure I'm like comfortable with how the front part looks. Okay, I can't even take anymore. Wow, alright, cool. Wait, hold on. Let me take as much stone as I can carry on my person. What? One more over here. This is me being greedy. A little more stone. Alright, let's go back before it gets dark. Take what's over here. Yoink. Alright, come on. I swear it's so noticeably heavier. Full cart of rock. Okay, I can't go too far this way because I can't deal with that troll right now. Too dangerous. She doesn't have a stick. Look at this. Full sprint. So I gotta cut inland here. Sound worried me for a second. I can't believe how heavy this cart is with all this rock. It's so noticeable. What's happening? This guy's like sprinting in on me. Is this area like attract railings or something? Oh. Especially with this level of stamina. Last thing I want is to deal with a troll. Come on. My thing is so heavy. Ugh. Wow. Wow, it really makes a difference. Yet another argument that this thing is so trash. Come on. Pump those thighs. Come on. Please die, thank you. I don't get back. Come on, move it. Come on, move it up. There you go. Oof. Can you stop? Alright, everyone simmer down. The brute. Can I kill him with one single stab? Yeah. I pick that up. Oh, inventory for wood? That. Who cares? Okay, now I gotta go cross country a little bit. Must keep away from that. Too much valuable on me right now. Right. Okay, regen a little bit. Okay. The wood with me. Parts over here, everything's fine. Which of the shit can I drop? Coins at least. Resin. That. All that. Roll hides. I've got rid of the head. Is there something else I can drop instead? Or this. These things are... Need that much. The troll trophy. I don't think I need more troll trophies than I have, to be honest. I'd rather have the Grey Dwarf eyes. They at least have some usage. Right. Alright, well that makes my home journey a little more simple, but I'd like to have some daytime still. I'd like to have some nighttime still here when I get back. I heard a really funny story lately. My girlfriend's friend has like a posting where she works overseas and has for the last few years in a country where it's like a little bit fucked up in right now, so she can't like necessarily leave very often. So her parents, for the first time in like 2 years, her parents are old. Her parents are old, like in their 70s, and they're coming to visit her for the first time. It's like in Asia, and my girlfriend's friend has like been seeing some guy for the last few months or something, and her parents are coming for like 2 weeks, and they're like, well, this is someone I see fairly, this is someone I see regularly or whatever, and I was wondering whether you're cool with like him joining us for the last like 3 days of your trip here. And her parents are like, you know what, nah, we don't want that. Being like, we only want to see you, we don't do it that often, like traveling is like tiring, etc. So you know what, I know you're suggesting that you bring your like current man to visit us, but we would prefer you didn't do that. And I thought that was so funny. Like, I think it's so funny because most people would just like generally tend to go along with people and the things they suggest, even if they want to like bitch about it later and be like, oh, sure, whatever, I'm sure it's important to my daughter or whatever. But this girl's parents were like, you know what, we're just not, no, we're not interested. Don't bring him. We're gonna like, we don't have time for this bullshit, basically. I thought that was just the funniest thing ever. And like, she was upset, but my girlfriend was like, I understand where your parents are coming from. Oh, that only kills them? Like that. My girlfriend was like, I understand where they're coming from. And I do too. It's just extremely funny, I think. This guy's just like absolutely sprinting it on me. Come on, get up the hill. Come on. I can't even move. Eat some honey, regen that stamina. Pick up this wood, pick up the Grey Dwarf Eyes. Pump the thighs. Pick up the stuff you can pick up. No room in inventory for stone? You know what? I don't care. Almost there. Come on. Come on, pump the thighs. He's not even moving. Come on. Come on. Oh. Are they gonna be in my base because of the stupid thing I did? Leaving this open? Destroying my fucking workbenches? I can't believe how heavy this is. Okay, I'm inside the base. Oh, sleep. This is possible. Please hurry the fuck up. If that pig stops me... Oh, please hurry up. Oh, get in there, you idiot. There we go. That was a little close for comfort. Yeah, we get it. How's my turnip stew supply? One more. Yeah. Everything's fine. Okay, I have a lot of wood. I have a lot of stone now. That Guy, you can't live here. What you want to do? Excuse me. Okay, I'm gonna drop off all my stuff, and then I'm gonna put the rock there, and then we're gonna do the rest of that. I'm gonna do the rest of that bench. I'm gonna do the rest of that boulder. Sorry. A lot of wood there, just from killing random greylings. I killed a lot of greylings. That was a legit genocide. Okay, you have no coal and probably full of smelting. Yes. Okay, it's only short on 4. Put these in, and then which things do I have here? Grey Dwarf Eyes. I didn't take the trophies. I have the hides, coin, and the rest I'll keep. I'll repair my pickaxes. Leave this wood here. Will be tempted to bring the other pickaxe. Just to make sure it's better. Just to make sure it's worth. Durability is 150. Durability 220. Yeah, this is just better. Annoying as that is, it's still better. Okay, drop this off in here. Got the other 40 stone off with this stone. Unpack the cart. The clothing's off. When did my helmet get de-equipped? Efficient. How much extra do I have? 36. You can stay 2. Right. Drop off the 2 little pig parts, despite how annoyingly... It's a very low efficiency move here for me to do this, but I want to have the clear inventory. Rubber strand with pig parts that I'll never use. I have 182 pieces of leather scrap. Not terribly exciting. I'm not going to take the stone cutter this time. I'm going to make sure this is repaired. Away. Through. Reason I can't go this time? Did I do the other one last time? I think so. Yeah, I did. I did. Alright, away we go. Back to the same boulder, but this time free of trolls. It's really cool how you can use the cultivator, the grass function, to kind of like enliven things back up. To renaturalize. So that like if you carve stuff up, it doesn't always look carved up. Like that area there from when I did my first attempt at the wall just looks like uneven and raw looking. Max efficiency. I guess they're like running, like they've been doing marathons lately. Insane. They're so much faster than they were. What happened? Who did what to them? Okay, here's another boulder. Here's a double. Okay. Went from copper to a rock. Prize commodity. It's going backwards. That one. Okay, not so bad. False alarm. Can easily roll through the water, it turns out. Okay. He's not going to stay here. Should stay down here, though. Okay, yeah. Help? Maybe it does, actually. Gives us something to go against. Great. Okay, get the top layers first. Move slowly forward with my gradual motion. Whenever I think of like the most, or like the biggest examples of like super sugary processed food, Like something I really like, but like the thing that I feel like is like one of the worst things for the body. I always kind of think of Oreos. I think because they're so dense and give you like that really like small black poop when you eat them. Something about Oreos that are like super compressed. They're good though. Especially double stuff. Double stuff are really good. We'll get the triple. Yeah. Get it there. Quickly back to the old 450. One recipe for chicken wings that I kind of messed up recently when I tried them was like this recipe I saw on Gordon Ramsay's YouTube channel, which is like basically you basically make a wing coating out of like smoked paprika and garlic powder, I think, is the main ingredients. Probably some salt or something as well. And then you sear the wings in the pan with like a pretty good chunk of butter. Just make sure you get them in there till they have like real like char marks on them, like the real crisp marks on them. This is like all just the drummies. And then you finish in the oven. And then once they're done in the oven, you like basically toss them in your favorite hot sauce with butter as well. I think that was the order. Yeah, I think that was the order. And it just didn't have very much flavor when I did it. But it looked good. It seemed to make sense to me. It's like this would make a good wing. Like I'm generally pretty good, I think, at like spotting a good recipe. I was better at like spotting a good recipe, being like this tastes good. I was better at spotting a good recipe before I was good at like freeballing. But freeballing food is like all about, you have to understand technique. It's like anything else, like similar to like music or whatever. Once you have like the standard techniques down, you can then for sure apply it to different circumstances. And the same with cooking. Like if you understand like basic, especially like the French techniques, Italian. Actually, the recipe I made recently, like that Texas chili I was talking about, the way that you make that chili, where you put the peppers, you put the chilies in the blender with onions and garlic, a bit of water and the spices, and blend that down. The way that it ends up looking is exactly the way that like 5 out of every 6 Indian curries look. And the way that it looked today, like in the pan when I was reheating like the ground beef and the sauces, I was like, this is exactly the texture like Indian curries are. So the times I made curries before, they may kind of like end up more like soupy stew type ones. But I'm like, oh, okay. One way you do it is to like get that blend. Like I know they like toast the spices, etc. Like the seeds. But then like you saute like the onions and the garlic, ginger and chili. Or whatever ones would be slightly different for Indian food. I think that'd be pretty close. And then you blend that up. You use ghee probably instead of water. Maybe a bit of both. Ghee is so cool. It seems like sacrilegious kind of to buy clarified butter. It seems like something you should make. But to like buy a jar of it, that always seems like weird to me. You should clarify your own. But I don't know. I guess maybe I guess it depends on price. Butter can be expensive now. Butter and like eggs are like two of the things that like have gone up from staples to closer to an expensive indulgence for some people, which is like really wrong. And you know, like the health bros will say, they're like, they want you eating bugs and vegetable oils so that you stay sick and addicted to the system, blah blah blah. Yeah, that's a little far, but a lot of foods that we have always taken for granted as being the thing that you get as like the basic is now, as we rediscover like the health values of these things, no longer quite so basic in terms of being easily affordable. I get 18 eggs for $10.50, and I think it's like a pretty good deal. That was not always the case. They're good ones though. Beautiful golden yolks. People are even saying that like West Coast, I've even noticed myself actually, like things like that, like eggs, etc., they look different here. Less likely you get those like really pale, weak yellows. Or like fucking banana pudding yolk color. You don't get that too often. Punching the rock in. So much this I'm gonna have trouble getting because it's underwater. There's still a lot of stone. It's like probably 2 more days. Just in terms of how long it's taking for me to shuttle all this stuff out of here. I could also bust out the fucking workbench. Raise some ground. Long gone are the days where I'm bashing through crypts. I'm now like now I'm a common laborer. Less of an adventurer. It's like a less stressful style to some degree. Less things are poisoning me. I'm not running through the marshes so often. That was always unpleasant. Think of the okay. Usually at night, my like nighttime supplement stack is magnesium glycinate and myo-inositol, glycine, and a couple of days a week L-theanine. I feel like the glycine, especially because it's also like overlapping with the magnesium glycinate, is probably the one that I like notice the least from, or at least the one that I feel like just from my reading I could probably get rid of. And I've noticed that days where I have like pretty, not necessarily at this point bad neck and shoulder problems of like constant serious tension, like looking all the way to the right always like pulls something in my like right trap neck area. But I noticed that if I take L-theanine and a little bit of a bite of a muscle relaxer at night, I'm like slower in the morning. I started noticing once I started taking like a Robaxaset before bed, I would feel more mellow in the morning, which is in a good way. But my gym workouts were going from like 60, 70 minutes to like 90. And I was like going down on my strength goals. I was like, what's happening here? But I think I was just like too liquid. Making me weaker, it was making me slower especially. So my gym workouts were taking so long. It was directly coinciding with that week. It's interesting. Back set is nice. Where like I used to have like, I used to have such a bad schedule, and be under like so much stress, mostly just from that bad schedule and like living in a sedentary lifestyle, that I would wake up with like basically tension headaches, like the back of my neck, to such a point that like the whole day your tension levels are so high that it basically is like a low-level headache the entire day, and it takes up so much of your attention that you can't really do anything. Like I used to be like a big pothead, and I would smoke like, I don't know, all day basically, from like after breakfast and coffee to like bed. And I was getting to the point where on those days I couldn't even like smoke and enjoy it, because you're just like, the levels of tension are so high. Now over the last couple of years since that happened, I've managed to cut away most of that. Like got some massages, got some physio, mostly just kind of like was aware of how messed up my like those areas were, and they're still tight. And I'm sure I'm not the only people with this. I feel like a lot of people have neck and back pain, and like it's just one of those things that a lot of people are living with. I see people like at coffee shops, or just generally people on laptops, who are like, their posture is like fucking crazy. I see a lot of people with like the craziest posture when it comes to like being on their laptop, like at a low table, like a full slouch. So I know I can't be the only one, but I have more like, I think like jaw tension than the average person. So it kind of like makes it so every morning you wake up, you're like in a worse shape than you were when you went to bed. It sucks, man. It's like a constant like chronic tension that like, think of the amount of like let's say you have chronic pain or some sort of injury. Think of the amount of man hours of your life you spent thinking about that as opposed to like something useful. So rough. And this is like, and mine's like minor compared to what a lot of people go through. A lot of people go through like actual chronic pain. Chronic tension that sometimes goes into pain. Like mine's only really bad now if I'm exhausted. Like for example, I had a flight. It was an early morning flight a couple of weeks ago. And so my night's sleep was bad because I didn't sleep because I was like anticipating this flight in the morning. And so over the course of the day, I kind of like powered through, but by like the halfway point of the day, it was like just like sheer neck tension. Like my muscles were just like tired and sort of like messed up the whole time. And so that's the point now where it starts to suck. It's normally fine. But on the days where like stress eats my life up, then it's the first thing that goes, you know what I mean? So it's not like a vulnerability as opposed to like a chronic problem. But I'm sure there must be so many people who have these similar things. Because I'm like probably a 7 out of 10 for being someone who's like kind of aware of how their condition is. Like some people like really notice how every single meal makes them feel, or like how a certain supplement or a certain change in their lifestyle, they like instantly are confident that it's like they know how things have changed. I don't really feel that way. I'm like, I don't know, there's so many different factors in life. How are you supposed to know exactly whether it's like this new thing you're trying? Do you feel so normal and like so well healed that you just always know exactly how you're feeling with all the circumstances? Or are there a lot of like things in your life that make you feel different ways? I never really bought it that people could be like, oh, I take this thing, I feel this way. It's like, are things so simple? Is everything else like so well controlled that you like know exactly how one thing is isolated and how you feel? Like that's crazy to me. But some people are good that way. In fact, ain't me, dog. My friend asked me to do my friend is a personal trainer, and he asked me to do like this 3-page survey on how eating affects you. And I couldn't do it. I had no fucking idea. You eat this kind of carb, At lunch, do you feel tired afterward? I don't know. I can't imagine I know. I can't imagine I can know with like surety what things are making me feel a certain way, and it's not just like other parts of your lifestyle. You know? Come on. What is resin doing here? I must have been able to pick up the wood before, not the resin from the grayling kills. It's considerably easier to get home with no troll duel in your future. This is the part that's difficult. I think I can make it up all the way. I can. I know it's just as heavy as before. What is this? What are you doing? This is your doing? Shit. What? Can I start swimming again? Yeah. Alright. This cart is like the bane of my existence. Push it this way. Okay. What's all this? I'm stone? Knock knock, secret door. I can probably afford to unpack this tonight. Every time. Okay, so the question is, do I go back tomorrow? I don't think so. I was gonna say, do I go back tomorrow for the rest of that rock? But it's like, I don't even know if it'll be a full load. Stuff away. It's always that flat 25. Okay, so frags going here. Trophies go here. Resin here. There the stuff. Bed. What? Okay, so tomorrow should be a good terraforming day. Oh. Already 10. Alright. I'm going to get my haircut. When I get my haircut, I'm also going to be probably done with this beard experiment. And will maybe rock a mustache for a while, see how that goes. Always fun to have a mustache. Good morning, Mr. Seagull. Good morning, Mr. Fishy. Fish are having a rough time. Massive environmental upheaval around. I'm in the drink with him. Facing south currently. So generally acceptable level, that's too high. But here's a nice flat area. Gotta do all this again. What if I'm in some sort of half step or something? Well, it always goes one under to one above. Or maybe this is fine. Just like overdoing it. Is this like ineffective or effective? Can't even tell anymore, dude. So much. Just raised so much ground that it's just all a blur. See, that's a waste. Too many button presses. Coming together though. I think the other side is like mostly covered, right? It's not gonna be too much after this. If I go here. I don't even know if that's raising up other parts. You can also raise up other parts around something. This is like hard to figure out how to optimize. Part of this is that's okay is that like you don't need even lines because it's eventually gonna all be up there. Oh, I think I should be able to do this tonight. And I'll definitely want to put some work into like beautifying the creek as well, and then planning out next time. I never did the dock. I've just done terraforming the whole time. Holy shit! I mean, it's only been in 2 hours. Not even 2 hours. The other thing is to figure out where the river is going to run through it all. Flattening worked oddly well. More so than usual, I feel. I'm gonna get a little abstract with it. Workbench up. It's all too high. It's all getting a little crazy. Perhaps in flattening it down, we will have some excess territory. Yeah, there's some. Sit down here to recuperate. At a honey? Nice. Love to cut through the honey stacks a little bit. This is nice and flat. Feels like I can get some progress around here. Not much more though. Added a little bit of growth there, good. Donk, 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 donk. I like doing this when it's raining out. You kind of get that nice like shimmer on the ground. It's kind of pleasing. Work on that. A lot of work in the old, what's it called? The hose getting a lot of work. Hose working overtime. First workbench and the stone. I'm pretty sure I can do this in 20 minutes. I'm gonna repair the hoe now. Or are you gonna hate it when this place gets blocked up? It'll be my personal pet then. Little snack break. Eat some jam right from the jar with a spoon. Classy like that. So that was good. It'd be interesting if like bringing up the kind of mountains, the little hills from Raised Earth would then like redistribute in the area around it. It was like kind of part of the technique. It's like pretty close to how like people actually like garden and do yard work. Thump, thump, smack, smack, smack. You're having a rough go of it. Problem with here is that this level is not necessarily covered that well. A little easier, but this area is not exactly leveled that well. So like, I just have to kind of get everything up. These little pet peeves out of here. Making molehills out of mountains. Ooh. That feels like such a crazy useful technique. If you have like this, if you have like an angle on it, poor dear. Rough time. If you have like an angle on the rock, I feel like that's how you get like the most gains with the most useful. The one from like the videos where people say like just aim for the corner, I feel like it just raises that point up too high. Like, this is kind of inefficient. But like getting those like angled stone parts, boom, so much goes up. Sometimes it gets a little crazy. Okay. It also feels like once the area was like a thinner crevice, like when it was the huge triangle over there, progress was kind of weak. But once you get to like the area where the rock walls are a little bit closer in proximity to each other, it feels like a lot more manageable. Like more comes up at once. Okay. Overall, this is a big part of gross flattening. And you got the little part over there, which I should do first, probably. I have to get into like the precision work soon. Like going over everything and getting all the divots. The question is, how much do I want to have any sort of like... The next question is like, what is this area all going to be? One, for obviously like, castle walls are going to come in. And then if this is sort of like the animal area, it can have some contours to it. It kind of helps it look beautiful. It'll all be grass, etc. We can have some hills. It's funny how you start to see little cracks in the ground that you know are like irredeemable, that you know you have to fill in. You're not like, okay, let me just bang around for a little while and see what good can come of it. There's a certain point where you're like, okay, well that's just needs a raised earth. Deep cracks are definitely those. Okay, where's the last big area? It's not really here anymore. Alright, we're looking pretty good. Did like 15 minutes of spot work. Not best done at this hour. Now we have closer to an unimpeachable base. Still a risk of trolls, obviously. Those blobs that jump over apparently can be pretty annoying. But we have full security now. We got a nice little we have a nice little quasi mode in the back. That they can actually probably... They fall through the back. What happens to them? They run along this. It'd be best to put... Maybe best to put like a wall, like a one piece here somewhere. Stuff first. It's probably best to do a cutoff wall in each part here. So here, say the corner piece, probably best. On the far side as well. This one they'll still be able to get through. I think it feels a little pointless here. I will still do it. I don't think it makes much of a difference. Yeah, I'll probably bang out one more day here. Oh. In my honey stockpile. Honestly, better if I only had one smelter. It's really mad at them. Perfect. Two fishies in here. The fishies should probably go inside. Despite how useless it makes that chest. The way it's got to be. Not exactly swimming in meats. You really do crowd up a lot of space, though. Alright, whatever. Okay, so I'm doing... Okay, there's no more holes. We're now mostly good. Now I gotta repair that and do spot work. Deer like get the nighttime. Then after that it's my time, so they just run around in fear the whole time. Ooh, that was a patch I wouldn't have expected to actually get better. Speaking to my conversation from the previous evening in Valheim. Raise all this shit up. I was gonna make a uniform for now, then I'll kind of contour it once I have stock of it. This all has to be flat. This is where like the castle, second half of the stone walls. So that's probably in 2 days from now, is to start making the inner walls and then the corner towers. The dock comes before that, I think. You really could go by like the animation on the thing whenever there's any sort of remote line. I'm just not sure it'll work. I think there's too much variation in the ground for that to ever work. I guess basically that's one way to be really exacting, is to use this tool. And whenever there's like any sort of vertical line, That's what you try to fix. Oh, there's two there. What happened? What broke? Was a bit reckless. Kind of overcompensated there a little bit. Those trees are not helping. All of this has to go up. It's a lot still. All the way up to the river line. I don't know, workbench right here. Oh, it's a stone cutting bridge. Gonna have to be all the way across. Eventually. There's an underrated Halloween candy, like the chocolate covered marshmallows. It's like a different kind of marshmallow, you know what I mean? It's like firmer, like kind of got like a stretchy quality to it. Good. I also like never had s'mores until I was like basically out of high school. And then I was like surprised by how rich they are. Like I think s'mores are like the richest thing on the planet. Like I thought I'd be like, oh sweet, I'm out camping. I'm gonna pig out on s'mores. You have like two, and you're like, I probably don't want one. I probably don't want another one of these again in my life. It's like me with the nachos last night. Eat 60% of a huge plate of it, and then be like, I'm throwing all these out. I never want to look at nachos again. Until next time. All this level's got to get raised by another. What a tall task. This is still so much work to level this all out. So much work. Well, it's not really work. Just running around clicking. It's just a little... It's like... I don't even mind that it's repetitive. Because it's not really. Because each little spot is different. It's just like... a bit daunting. But it'll look good eventually. My daily moment of reflection, how I like that theme. I'm happy that it's memorable. Okay. get all up in these guts for a minute. It's always a phrase that I found it funny when like girls use it. Like get up, come on and get up on these guts. There's always been like, I don't know. There's so many like sexual phrases that like guys only use that girls would like, typically speaking, be sort of like turned off by, I guess. But I don't really think that's as much the case recently. One thing I've always found like really weird is how like dudes will offhandedly use like people sucking them off as like the most like denigrating, like disrespectful thing. It's like telling another guy to do that to you, like when you like telling him that you have no respect for him, etc. Like all the ways that we like use like getting oral sex is like this like huge power dominant thing, and then like wonder, and I think a lot of people like then wonder in certain relationships why they don't get it, or like girls are kind of like weirded out about it sometimes. I know they're not, and they know it's like part of stuff. I'm not like overthinking this like it's like a problem, but I always thought it was pretty funny that like some people like would probably like complain about how like their wife never goes down on them, while they like spend most of their like young, like most of their like bravado years using it as like the phrase for like, yo, like like I'm gonna disrespect you with this, or like respect me by doing this. I told him to suck my dick. There's a weird like there's a weird like double-headed meaning for it. Double-headed. Okay, I gotta extend this raised ground all the way across the other side. Eventually. Alright, I mean, this is pretty good progress. It's definitely looking like way different than it was before. It's a whole different thing. I had to like let go of the fact that this once was like a pretty big, beautiful nature reserve. Now it's like a new thing. Now you gotta have the housing development. You gotta take as much pride in the housing development as you did in the original design. Poor deer. If he'll come this way, I'll let him out. Buddy, come here. Let's get you out of there. Can you get it? Can you make it? Do I have a stone cutter around here? One over there, right? Oh, I took it down? You're here for good. I'm too lazy to do anything about it. I know you'll never come over here. baited on workbenches here. Everywhere, and they're just like, sorry, you're not in the spot. So many left clicks. This hoe is going to be the end of my Logitech mouse. Someday. Seems like maybe there's like 2 changes in elevation the level ground effect can do, and then above that it stops. Pretty effective. Go. You can carefully see the animation difference on the cursor to know when it like dips down to the area you want to. The problem is going to be leveling things around the castle walls. I have to figure that out. That'll be like some artistry of getting the archways to work. The deer is gonna keel over. Oh. One nice thing about a wireless mouse is not having to put it down before like doing a big chest stretch. Mouse in hand the whole time. That's all a little bit low. Okay, we're making big progress here. Still so much time coming. Really should put that deer out of his misery. Pretty funny though. Too high? Better than what it was. This is still only like half. That's crazy. Well, it's more than half. Especially because so much of the other side is still hills and altitude, steepness. steepness. Is that a word that's commonly used? I feel like the other side is hills and steepness. Am I the first person to ever say that? Probably not. What if I am? What hidden accolades do I receive? No. I guess there's no such thing as hidden accolades. Paradoxical. Antithetical. I had that on all day. How embarrassing. Got your headlamp on the entire day? What a dumbass. That dork. Everyone knows one of those dorks. I went to dinner at an Italian restaurant in Brooklyn. And we were at one table. It was 4 of us. 2 of the people I just met that night. And there's a woman at the table in front of me to the right, but behind the couple that was facing me. And the lady like turns, this old lady in her 60s, turns her cell phone flashlight on to read her menu in like a dark restaurant with like 8 tables. It's like so bright, it's like reflecting off the fucking menu. And the guy who is like we're eating there with, like, he wasn't rude or anything, but he very, very quickly and like instantly was like, hey, no. Excuse me, yeah, no, don't do that. Did you turn that off? Yeah. He like shut that lady down so quick. Like, no. She's like, oh, okay, sorry. Crazy. It was like a very boomerish move of her for sure. Like so fucking like well, to some degree it's inconsiderate, but 2, it's like so fucking oblivious. A restaurant that's like purposefully quite dimly lit, you turn your cell phone flashlight on like full blast to read your menu. Do you think people aren't gonna notice the fucking spotlight coming from your phone? Crazy. It's like having a ringtone on like 12 out of 10 volume because you're like getting too old to hear it in the other room. That always blows my mind about people who are like boomer age cell phone users, is all these like things they've done like inside their house that they're used to in their house because they want to be able to like hear and see their phone, is like it's then in public and it's like insane volume. This guy's having altitude problems in here. It's like all those things like, oh, I don't hear the cell phone in the house, or all these things, and it's just like, whoa, you live your life at that kind of volume? I took a cab to the airport. It was like the biggest SUV I've ever been, you could possibly imagine. It was like I forget the kind. It's like basically like a Ford Suburban sized one, but it was like Lincoln or something. And this guy is in there with like every notification or reminder on his phone is like a full volume, like a fucking parakeet noise. Is like every single different notification on his phone. It's like probably in his like early 60s or something. And it's just like, you get that insight into people's lives and you're like, do you have no sense of like sanctity or peace or quiet or like calm or like self-control or anything going on, that you think that like everything should be at max volume so you hear it? Like, it's such a way of like being like enslaved to your device and enslaved to the way that you think you need to live. Some people do need to live that way, but not everybody. It's just like, it was crazy when you get those insights in people's lives. Okay, so most of one side is done. There are some elements of this that could be flatter, but generally speaking, it's looking pretty good. This part's even. All this was like nothing before. All this was like literally fucking water. Or that part's good. Eventually I'm gonna want to, I was gonna say I eventually want to trim this down, but not really. There's a couple of spots that could be a little more even. Otherwise those cliffs are pretty sheer. This is pretty flat. We got the river. Okay, so tomorrow the goal is do this side, which doesn't need much work. Just a little bit. I get in here. Spawn inside my base because it's out of like vision range. So annoying. Excuse me. My house. Oops. Said that. Who said hugaboo? Shit. Raise that back a little bit. Simmer down. Basically just like trying to use the rest of my pickaxe. There's the rest of my hoe durability. Most of this is looking pretty good. Here's the top, the high patch. I got all of it there? Debatable. So the main thing is this area over here still needs a little... The area around here both still needs a little raising or lowering. I'm not sure which one. Ravening ghouls out there. Raise this all a little bit. Wet and cold. The lighting's helpful, thank you. Serious lightning. Ooh. Most I've ever seen, I feel. It's like, that was like 2 seconds of illumination. Alright, I need this hoe to conk out so I can sleep. Done? Lovely. Repair everything. Put away that stuff. Okay, we're good. Got a 50 stack of wood on, 49 stack of wood on me. Dry off. Holding my cloak up over the fire. And that's enough Valheim for today. A nice clean 153-minute session. These ones are going by real quick. It's because it's a little more clear when you're in one concentrated space how much stuff you need to do at that point, as opposed to jumping here and there and going out for wood and going for stone and getting iron and blah blah blah. Build save. And we're out. Alright, well, more of the same tomorrow. I probably look like I'm close to a couple of days away from being done Dark Souls. And then I think I don't go back to an RPG yet. I think I do some sort of like quick diverting thing for that, but I'll figure it out. Okay, good night.